Hey everyone. So, as we head into phase 2 this week, today I wanted to spend some time looking at an add on that everyone has heard of for gold making, and that is TSM, Trade Skill Master. You'll often see it in my videos, even when I'm not actively using it, it's kind of just floating around giving me tooltips and information. So, why should you use TSM? So, TSM gives you information, tons of it, the current buyout cost on your server of an item, disenchant value. When you're using the auction house, it gives you a percent market price that the item's selling for. When you're selling items, TSM gives you a really big advantage in that it enables you to post and cancel items quickly. If you're in an undercutting war without TSM, unless you have a huge stock, you're going to lose. TSM puts you on an equal playing field with other sellers. For crafting, TSM gives you a guide price to help you see what's profitable and what isn't. Now, a really big disclaimer here, that isn't perfect. It's only a guide price, and in Season of Discovery, it doesn't show you sales rates, so you need to be careful not to craft something that won't even sell. You can set up mailing operations to send your greens or your cloth to a particular orc when you're out on a farming spree. But to get all this good stuff though, you need to set things up. It is annoying, but you should see this as a good thing, because spending more time now learning TSM will give you a real gold making advantage over those who didn't take that time. And while a few details may change, once you're comfortable with TSM, you can use it for any version of World of Warcraft. Next up then is how to download and set up Trade Skill Master itself. I think the part that throws a lot of people off here is that you can download TSM from CurseForge, but as a standalone add-on, it doesn't do very much out of the box. You really need to visit tradeskillmaster.com and start there by registering. The next step is to verify your email address, and once that's done, you're in. Go to Install TSM on the website, then choose either Windows or Mac. This downloads the desktop app helper, and then the desktop app helper will manage absolutely everything else for you. This is the desktop app. We don't need to worry about selecting the server or doing anything on this really for Season of Discovery, but if you're playing a different version of the game, then you'll need to select Add Realm and put your realm in. Once this stage is complete, log in fully to Season of Discovery, open the auction house, close it, and relog completely. It can take a couple of minutes for the data to pull through, but you should start to see some tooltips soon. Let's take a look then at your brand new tooltips. These tooltips will appear on everything in game. Vendor price is pretty straightforward, showing you how much you can get if you sell it to a vendor. Minimum buyout is how much it is on your auction house now, and the region market price is the average auction house price in your region. Disenchanting value is based on what you expect to get disenchanting the item. Now, it is a known issue right now that TSM is getting this wrong at times, so double check the results and test things before you commit. Talking of commitment, as much as you might like TSM, you maybe don't want to fully commit to it as your new auction house UI full time. Thankfully, when you're viewing the auction house, in the top right hand corner, you'll see an option to switch to the default UI. You're actually going to see that same option on the mailbox and the crafting. You can just top right hand corner, you can just swap along to the default whenever you feel like it. From there, along the bottom of the auction house, you will now have an extra tab labeled TSM that you can pop back into whenever you want. I've also got additional tabs too that you might see that are from Auctionator. Now then, we are going to look at setting up your groups and operations. This section is going to be in two parts. The first will be how to set up your own groups and operations, and the second will be how to import mine. First of all, what is a group? So a group is a bunch of items that you want to treat similarly for the purpose of playing the game, so for the auction house or for crafting. So in this case, I'm going to assume a group relating to your profession. If you have alchemy as a profession, then you can create a group with all the craftable items in it. What we're going to do is open TSM using the icon on the minimap, and then next go to groups. Next to the base group, press the plus to create a group, and then at the top, use the pencil to rename it. Whenever you change anything in these options, you have to press return. You can't just change it and move on to the next one. You need to press return for it to save. So if you have the items in your bag already, this part is really easy. You just spot the items, click them, and press add to move them over. If they're not in your bag though, you're going to need to find them inside the base group. Search for the item and then select it. Choose your group at the bottom and move it in that way. Now this only works if you've seen the item in game. That's actually why I'm demonstrating from the Classic Era server right now, is I've been creating phase 2 groups in Classic Era because the items are already in. With this method, I search the auction house for a category and then do a fast scroll through, and that makes the items findable for me in the base group. Once you've set up your group, you're going to need an operation for it to actually do anything. So for your alchemy group, you'll need to be able to post it. It's pretty straightforward. We go to operations and we're going to go to auctioning operations. On the details page, you don't really need to change much. Match stack size low is something that's worth knowing about. If you sell something in stacks, so for supply boxes as an example, ticking match stack size means you will only sell at the price of that stack size. People will pay more for convenience. This also helps you with the people who post one stack of one at silly low prices. Page 2 is important, so this one is posting. If you're planning to cancel to undercut, then it's cheapest to select the shortest duration. You'll pay less deposit fees. The post cap is how many posts you want at once, and the stack size is how many per stack. Remember, if this group is your supply boxes, you're going to want to match the supply box request wherever possible. For allow partial stack, so I always say yes to this. Basically, it's just how many you have in your bag. So if you try and post things in stack sizes of 5, but you've only got 4 in your bag, by ticking yes, it will still post them. It will just do a stack of 4. If you tick no, then it will just leave the 4 in your bag. Next up then, we select bid as percentage of buyout. I go with 95%. This is because in some UI setups, auctions will be shown by bid price rather than buyout. Minimum price is set by default to DB market. DB market is the average price for the last 14 days. At the start of a phase, this can cause you some problems, but DB market is a really good starting point for a market you don't know very well. In Season of Discovery, we don't know it well, so it's good to use. Also, the short duration auctions cause such price swings that you're generally safest in Season of Discovery with DB market. If you're playing Wrath or Cataclysm though, I'd recommend trying to stay closer to the numbers and actually put in set amounts in, as you can change them anytime. For cancelling, it's up to you and your preference if you want to cancel scan or not. If so, you'll need to change the threshold for Season of Discovery to something else. I'm leaning towards 1 silver. Cancel scanning makes sure that you're always the cheapest option to buy and increases the chances of your item selling. Last up then is you need to make sure that your group is actually selected. The next operation you need to know about is going to be crafting. So you make a crafting operation in the same way as auctioning. Your restock options, you just choose how many you want at each time. So here it's low, but I often like to craft 20 to 30 a time of some supply box items. The minimum profit here is linked to the profit that you see in the crafting window. It's not 100% accurate. I will show you in the settings section how to set it up to get it as accurate as possible, but it's still not going to be 100%. That's why I set my minimum profit low, but I always look at what I'm doing and try and check things myself. The next operation then is shopping. So groups aren't just limited lend to selling. I have basic materials groups set up right here. I'm scanning to buy for below 85% of the DB market price. This way, I can just buy a bulk amount when it suits me, and I know that if I craft and I sell for market price, then I am all good. This is also really great for BOEs. You can make a group of, say, of the bear items, for example, or of all the dungeon blue bind on equips that are in phase 2, and just do a shopping scan for them. Linked to the shopping operations is the sniping ones. Rather than making a shopping operation and leaving things to chance, you could attach the group of dungeon bind on equips to a sniper operation and then leave it running while you work from home. This way is much less manual. People make a staggering amount of gold in this way from the auction house, the neutral one, but I wouldn't recommend it as it does attract a lot of player reports and it could see you caught in a ban wave. Even though it is supposed to be safe and within terms of service, if you were caught in a ban wave that way, you'd really struggle to be unbanned. I'm going to show you the mailing quickly, but I don't have any mailing operations set up myself right now. So you need to first set the player that you're mailing to. You take them out of the drop-down list, select an amount you want to keep. So if you're mailing your cloth to a tailor alt, then you should say if you want to keep any for yourself, and then just check it's on the right group. This way, when you're in the mailbox with the TSM mailbox UI, you can now send everything really speedily. So rather than creating your own groups and operations, you might rather to use mine. Before you do that though, if you have any groups or operations yourself that this is going to clash with, then you should export them. You export by when you're in the group, clicking the arrow icon on the top right, and it will give you a big string of gibberish. By default, your operations will be included. So copy the gibberish, paste it somewhere safe, and this way, if you prefer your own and want them back, you can just import them. So to import my groups, first join the Discord. So right now, the Discord is more for storage, as I've got a few different things that I'd like to be able to share. So feel free to join and say hi. If you do find the things useful though and pass them along, I'd really appreciate it if you would just say where you got them. I'm still finishing the groups at the moment and adding them throughout the rest of the day. You might actually be the first person to join the Discord too. Once you've found the groups that you want in Discord, just highlight the gibberish and copy it. Then within TSM, you press the arrow next to the search groups to import your groups. This is going to take the operations by default as well. What I'll do, I'll post some with the operations and I'll post them without the operations, just so that you can make your choice whether you need them or not. So once you have the groups imported, take a quick check through them and make sure that you're happy. The phase 2 items are in already, but you won't see them in the crafting options yet, as it only shows you what's craftable. You might have a few bits missing, as I did loads of groups all in one time. So if you are missing anything, just shout and I can add that in. Last up then, we're going to take a quick look at the crafting options. So these are in the settings and they're pretty important because it sets the profit that you'll get, and it also sets where you're going to be shopping from for your professions. So when you open your profession itself and select your materials gathering, remember to tweak this list. You're going to want crafting high on your list of sources, as well as any alts that you have. What this does is it enables you to buy linen cloth rather than bolts. So if it sees that you're going to need bolts of linen cloth to craft something, by having crafting on here, it means you're going to be able to, it's going to direct you to buy cloth, and it's going to price up the cloth rather than only the bolts. So that is everything for today. I really hope you found this tour of your TSM helpful, and I hope that I haven't missed anything or too much. The Discord link is in the description. Feel free to pop in and say hi, pick up any groups you need and stuff. I've got a few more videos planned this week before phase 2 comes out. I hope you're all ready and as excited as I am. Well, I'm excited, but I'm not really ready. You'll probably find me Thursday evening, 2 hours before launch, finally doing some pre-quests. If you found this video useful, then please do take a moment to give me a like and subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.